Grandpa John's bookshelf presents The Mischievous Legend of the Christmas Spider. Why we hang tinsel on the Christmas tree. Long ago, in a crooked corner of the world where the forest whispered secrets to the snow and the wind played tricks on travelers, there stood a crooked little cottage, hunched beneath a crooked old pine tree. The cottage belonged to a woman known simply as Old Mags. Some said she was a witch, others said she was just lonely and strange. Whatever the truth, no one visited her, not at Yule, not on birthdays, not even when spring came and the river thawed. She didn't seem to mind. Old Mags had a sharp nose, a sharper tongue, and a heart that most believed was 2 degrees colder than ice. But what really kept the villagers away were the spiders. They lived in her rafters, hundreds of them, some said thousands, black-legged, web-weaving things with glistening eyes that blinked far too slowly. No one knew how they came to live with her. She never killed them, in fact, she spoke to them, they listened. And every winter, when snow blanketed the village, her cottage would be the first place to grow dark with webs. Now, not far from Old Mags's home lived a poor man named Mark and his 2 children. They had no mother, no money, and very few possessions, but they had each other, and hope. The children believed, fiercely, that if they worked hard enough and smiled long enough, something good might come their way. That winter, on Christmas Eve, they went deep into the forest to find a tree. "But Papa," whispered May, the youngest, "we've searched for hours." "There must be 1 tree left," said Mark, stomping his feet in the snow, "a small one, even a crooked one." And just as he said it, the children saw it. A pine tree, thin, a little lopsided, but still green and full. It stood beside a crooked little fence, near a crooked old path. "We can take it?" asked Leo. "Of course," said Mark, "who would plant a tree out here?" So they chopped it down, dragged it home, and set it in their cottage corner with pride. They had no ornaments, just dried apples, bits of cloth, and their imaginations still. They laughed and hummed as they decorated it. That night, the children went to sleep dreaming of St. Nicholas and snowflakes. They never noticed the faint sound of skittering behind the walls. Back in the crooked cottage, Old Mags stood by the fire with narrowed eyes. "Gone," she said to the rafters, "my tree, my gift to you. Do you know what that means, little ones?" The spiders stirred. "You'll have to go fetch it back," she hissed, "and make sure they never steal from us again." She turned and pointed her bony finger toward the village. "Go make a mess of things." And the spiders went. They poured from the rafters, crawling down the walls and through the cracks. Black bodies, shiny and silent, swarmed through the snow like spilled ink. No one saw them, no one heard them. They reached the family's house just before midnight. As the moon reached its peak and the stars blinked like watchful eyes, the spiders climbed the Christmas tree one by one, leg by leg. They wove with fury, angry, mocking strands, not soft, friendly webs, but wild ones, twisting and curling in knots, clinging to every needle. They strung webs from branch to branch, covering each apple, each ribbon, until the whole tree looked like it had been cursed. But they didn't stop there. They spun webs over the furniture, across the windows, around the children's shoes and stockings. They wrapped everything in glittering silk until the house looked like a forgotten tomb. Then, just before sunrise, the mother spider climbed to the top of the tree with a hiss and a click of her legs. She spat a final strand of silver thread and vanished. The children awoke to silence. And then, screams. "Papa!" cried May, "the tree—" The entire room shimmered with silver threads, but instead of being cold and sticky, the threads had become something else entirely overnight. Thin strings of sparkling silver, glinting in the morning light. "It's beautiful," whispered Leo. Mark blinked. "It's as if the spiders left us a gift." But May was frowning. "I don't think it was a gift," she said slowly. "I think it was a warning." Outside the house, deep in the snow, A line of tiny black footprints led away toward the woods. The villagers came to see the miracle. They gasped at the beauty of the silver strands, but shivered when they saw the webs stretched over the windows. "It's a blessing," some said. "No," said May softly, "it's a trick. But even tricks can be lovely, sometimes." From that year on, people began hanging silver strands, tinsel, on their trees at Christmas time. Some said it was to honor the magic of the Christmas spider. Others whispered it was to keep the spiders satisfied, so they wouldn't spin their webs inside anyone else's home. But if you hang tinsel just right, and your house is very quiet, you might hear a soft skittering in the walls on Christmas Eve. Not angry, not kind, just watching and waiting for someone to take again what does not belong to them, waiting for another tree to vanish from the edge of the crooked path, waiting for one more hand to reach into the forest without asking. Because the spiders remember. They remember their tree, the one they claimed long before the snow first fell on the village. They remember the warmth of their silk spun safely in its boughs, the webs layered like lace in the moonlight before it was chopped down and dragged away. They do not forget. Each Christmas Eve they stir, just beneath the floorboards or high in the corners of the attic where the candlelight does not reach. They watch as children hang their shiny garlands, loop their ribbons, and string their silver tinsel with care. The silver pleases them, it mimics their webbing, it soothes their hunger for mischief. But if ever there comes a year when the tree is bare, when no tinsel is hung and no glittering strands are draped in memory of that long-ago warning, then the spiders will come again. They will climb and coil and spin, not out of anger, not out of kindness, but simply because that is what they do. They will wrap the branches in a beauty that trembles just beneath menace, and leave behind their message once more, a glistening whisper for those who dare forget. That magic is real, that spiders are patient, and that no gift ever comes without its web.